Hi, I'm Carla Schaefer, Antique Beads designer, and we are going to learn how to make a autumn flowers bracelet. The list of supplies needed for this project are 8mm daisy spacers, Swarovski daisy spacers, and I'm using Sun, and I'm also using our 4mm bicone warm mix and check glass teardrop beads, a pewter toggle, this is a gold melody toggle, and also an 11O seed bead of a contrasting color. Tools used in this project are also wire. I'm using a 49 strand .018 or .015, and a nipper tool and the magical crimp forming tool. The first thing that we'll need to do is cut our wire. If you're going to make a 7.5 inch bracelet, then you need to add probably 6 inches or so to that amount of wire. So I'm just going to cut the wire, and I'm going to go ahead and crimp the first half of our toggle on. We're only using one piece of wire for this project, so I'm going to go ahead and take the toggle. I'm going to use the loop part first. That way, if we need to add length or make the beads smaller to go in with the bar, it's easier to work from this end first. So I'm going to use my magical crimp forming tool to crimp, and I am using a gold fill crimp bead because I'm using a gold toggle. I am using a 2x2 tube. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to string on a 4mm bicone, and since this is a mix and the check glass drops are a mix, it does not matter what color you pick up, you just pick them up at random. And I'm going to start off with a pattern of a bicone and 3 of the teardrops, and then a bicone, and I'm going to repeat this pattern 3 times before I add on my first flower. I'm going to add one more bicone, and then I'm going to add the first daisy spacer. And all we're going to do is take the daisy spacer, we're going to run the wire through the daisy, then I'm going to pick up a seed bead. This is going to be our little flower center. And bring the seed bead down to the spacer, and then all we're going to do is run the wire back through the crystal, and then we're going to pull, making sure that we keep all this over here tight, and then we're just going to pull the wire till you see the little seed bead as the spacer of the flower. And then what we're going to do again is just repeat our pattern. I'm going to add a bicone, 3 of the teardrops, another bicone, then a daisy spacer, until we've used all 8 of our daisy spacers. And again, I'll show you. Add the bicone. Now as I'm stringing on my last daisy spacer, I will show you how to end the necklace. And as I said, I like starting, if I'm going to add a clasp to a bracelet toggle rather, I like to start with the loop first, because sometimes when you do things with the toggle, you're going to need to make sure that the bar will go through the loop, and that in that case you need to make sure you have beads that are small enough. And right here is a good example of if you've moved this daisy spacer before, you've got as you pulled the seed bead down. To tighten this back up, you just need to pull that seed bead out and then pull it again. It's kind of a good way to correct yourself. Now, but as I was saying about the loop, the bar going through the loop, you need to always make sure you have enough smaller beads on your ends so that that loop has room to maneuver through. The bar has enough room to loop through. So I'm just going to add my last little pattern here, and then we'll crimp the end. We will also list other projects on the web next to this project using the daisy spacers and also these little teardrop beads. And I'm going to end with the crystal. My crimp and the bar of the toggle. I'm going to run it through. I'm just going to run it through the crystal. And before I crimp this, I just want to make sure I have enough room, and I do. Then I'm going to crimp this crimp bead again with the magical crimp forming tool, which, if you haven't noticed, is my favorite tool. And then we're going to trim the excess wire. And then we've completed our autumn fall or autumn flowers bracelet. Hi, I'm Carla Schaefer, Auntie's Beads designer, and I'd like to invite you to check out the Learning Center on our website for design ideas and jewelry making projects and other Carla Cam videos.